Hello and welcome to this all about Pleasant Valley guide video. In this video I will be going over some key information to help you get familiar with the Pleasant Valley region in the long dark. I will be going over things like transition zones, base options, the wildlife, and advice on exploring the region and much more. Feel free to check out the timestamps in the description to jump to the information that you need. A very brief background. Pleasant Valley was the third main region released for the Long Dark. It's located pretty centrally within Great Bear and is one of the largest regions. Do not be fooled, however, by its name. While it is a valley area, it is not always pleasant. The weather can be quite harsh, and with its wide open agricultural land and plenty of wildlife, it is definitely a more challenging region. I believe Pleasant Valley has more blizzards than any other region. Map overview. As the name suggests, Pleasant Valley is a valley area with wide open space, as well as some hilly surrounding areas around the outer parts. I like to use the waterways and road to divide the map up. So in the middle or inner section, we have the wider open space of the valley where the farmsteads are located. On the outsides of the waterways, it's more hilly and there's more tree cover. I've also pointed out on here the birch forest, which is located on the inner side of the waterways and is near the Lonely Homestead area. Following the main road will take you along some of the desirable points of interest like Thomson's Crossing, the outbuildings by the farmstead, and also the actual farmhouse and farmstead itself. You can follow it along to the outer areas, even up to the point of disagreement, which is near the transition to Timberwolf Mountain. Main bases. Pleasant Valley Farmstead. The classic popular choice is the Pleasant Valley Farmhouse. It is located pretty centrally. It's a large space with a 6-burner cooker stove, plenty of storage, beds, and even has a basement which is home to a workbench. There are, however, wolves and a roaming bear outside the farmhouse often, so keep that in mind. This is probably the coziest option there is. Barn. Pleasant Valley Outbuildings. Another option is the main big red barn located in the Pleasant Valley Outbuildings area. There is a fire barrel here for cooking, and you can sleep in the car if you do not have a bedroll. There is also a workbench located upstairs with some locker storage space. It is also pretty nearby the birch forest. Just note that there is also a lot of wildlife surrounding this area. Wolves, timber wolves, a bear, and even a moose. The community center at Thomson's Crossing. The community center is another good option as it has a 6-burner stove and plenty of space and beds. It is located nearby other interior spaces as well, which makes for easy looting. However, there is no workbench located here. So in order to craft, you either need to visit the barn at the outbuildings or possibly use one in the mine/cave system, which leads to Coastal Highway as it's quite nearby. The trader's radio is also located in the community center. Transition zones. Transition zones are location in a main region which will let you move into a different region. Pleasant Valley is a main region in the game with transition zones to 4 different areas. Number 1. To Timberwolf Mountain. This is via a rope climb and a walking transition. Number 2. Coastal Highway. This is via the cave system or mine system, Cinder Hills Coal Mine. To Mystery Lake, via a cave system and through Winding River. Number 4. To Blackrock via Keeper's Pass South. Prepper Cache. There is a prepper cache located in Pleasant Valley. It's not too far from Skeeter's Ridge or the plane crash area. Depending on your save, it may either be filled or abandoned. Be cautious as there is a bear cave located nearby and potentially wolves. Here I'll show you the route that I take to get there using the farmhouse as my starting point for reference. Facilities. As far as facilities go in Pleasant Valley, first of all, starting with workbenches, you'll be able to find a workbench in the farmhouse, the barn, the radio control hut, and the Prepper's Abandoned Cache, which is next to the rope climb to Timberwolf Mountain, not to be confused with the normal Prepper cache, by the way. Or you can even find one in the mine system that goes to Coastal Highway. As far as cooking goes, the farmhouse and the community center both have 6-burner stoves. You can also find a fire barrel at the radio control tower outside and inside both barns, the larger one near the outbuildings and the smaller one near the farmhouse. There is also another one at 3 Strikes Farmstead. You'll also find 2-burner stoves at, first of all, the destroyed cabin near the rope transition to Timberwolf Mountain, and at the derelict cabins. These are both outside. Fishing is also available in Pleasant Valley. There's one fishing spot at the Pensive Pond. Here, of course, you also will find a potbelly stove. Loot. Pleasant Valley is home to quite the variety of loot, especially as it has multiple interior spaces as well as a large plane crash site and smaller sheltered and partially sheltered POIs. In regard to tools, there are quite a lot of possible spots to find the hunting knife, hatchet, heavy hammer, hacksaw, and pry bar. Please note that on Interloper and Misery difficulty modes, no guns will spawn and you have to craft your own hatchet and knife. However, Pleasant Valley is a good region to find the hacksaw and or heavy hammer on Interloper or higher modes. As for guns, you have a chance to find the standard rifle, for example at the 3 Strikes Homestead. There are a variety of locations to find a revolver, for example in the farmhouse. As well, there are some possible bow spawn locations, such as in the Misty Falls Cave or from one of the Memento Caches. Pleasant Valley also has quite a few possible spawn locations for bedrolls, which can be handy on any difficulty, but especially on Interloper or Misery when you don't start with a bedroll. For example, at 3 Strikes Farmstead, or in one of the many caves or at one of the blinds. Pleasant Valley is also home to a Prepper Cache, meaning there is a chance that you find a loaded Prepper Cache bunker. Depending on which one it may be, the loot is always a great opportunity. The plane crash site is also a great spot if you're looking for additional clothing items and food. There is also a possible spawn location for the Spelunker's Lantern in Pleasant Valley. As this is DLC related content, I'll go over that in the DLC content section. Natural resources. Pleasant Valley also has some valuable natural resources, especially the birch tree forest, which is great, but it can be a bit risky. In Pleasant Valley, you can find all of the following: rose hips, reishi mushrooms, odd beard lichen, cattails, birch and maple saplings, birch bark, burdock. However, you will not find acorns in Pleasant Valley. Wildlife. Pleasant Valley is definitely very abundant in wildlife. Wolves especially feel like they're around nearly every corner. But overall, you will find rabbits, ptarmigan, deer, wolves, timberwolves, bear, moose, and cougar. In December 2024, there was a wildlife refresh, meaning there were changes to the spawn locations and or wandering routes of wildlife. So let's go over the spawn locations for moose, bears, timberwolves, and wolves in Pleasant Valley. Moose. There are 6 possible spawn locations for moose in Pleasant Valley. Number 1. The area between the Pleasant Valley outbuildings and the birch forest. Careful while collecting birch bark. Number 2. At Skeeter's Ridge. Number 3. On the frozen river between Draft Dodger's cabin and the farmhouse. Number 4. Across the bridge from the barn at the Pleasant Valley outbuildings near the frozen river. Number 5. At the splitting of the frozen river between the derelict cabins and the end of the road. Number 6. At the Lower Falls area downhill from Pensive Pond. Bears. Also very abundant in Pleasant Valley are bears. There are 7 bear caves, 5 of which are located on the outer edge of the region, while the other 2 are located a bit more inwards. Number 1 in the Inner Valley area, right next to the birch forest. This is one of the reasons why it's a high-risk area. Number 2. Across the road from the small farmhouse barn near the bottom of a rope climb, underneath Signal Hill. As for the outer locations for bear caves, number 3, near Cascading Falls near the transition cave to Mystery Lake. Number 4, near Upper Falls near Thomson's Crossing, below the mine entrance to Coastal Highway. Number 5. Along the road between the derelict cabins and point of disagreement. Number 6. The edge of the region up behind the crash site and prepper cache. Number 7. The small path upway from the 3 Strikes farmstead, although with this one it's possible it never actually spawns. I personally have never ever seen a bear around this area. Timberwolves. With the update, Timberwolves can also now spawn in Pleasant Valley. Possible places they may appear are at Skeeter's Ridge, in the open valley areas near the farmhouse and the outbuildings, and finally the valley area between the outbuildings and Thomson's Crossing. Wolves. As you can see on the map here, wolves spawn in too many locations to even mention. Be aware of them in Pleasant Valley, they definitely are very abundant. Vista points and Polaroids. A Vista point is a location in a region where if you survey the area with charcoal, it will reveal a greater area of the map compared to when you normally survey. You first need to find the relevant Polaroid. Go to the location and survey the map. It won't work unless you have the Polaroid. In Pleasant Valley, the Vista point is at the radio control hut on Signal Hill. The possible locations to find the Polaroid are the following. Number 1. In the pilot cabin at the plane crash site. Number 2. In the burned bridge cave nearby the plane crash site. Number 3. On a corpse nearby 3 Strikes farmstead. Number 4. Between 2 large rocks nearby the farmhouse in a backpack. Number 5. In the metal container in the broken down house near the Timberwolf Mountain transition. However, there is some debate on whether this is actually one of the locations or not. Personally, I've never found it here myself. Memento Caches. Mementos are a collectible which you can find throughout Great Bear. They either lead you to a hidden cache with some loot, or they hint at a certain landmark or transition zone. The way it works is first you need to find a note which correlates to a certain cache. You won't be able to access the caches without having found the note first. Sometimes they come with a key as well. In Pleasant Valley, there are 2 memento caches to find and 1 memento hint. Memento 1. Found in the car along the road to Long Curve. This leads you to a rock cache at 3 Strikes homestead, where you should find a bow and some arrows. Please note this wouldn't be on Interloper. Memento 2. Found in one of the cars at Points of Disagreement. This leads you to the piano inside the church at Thomson's Crossing. It generally provides medical items such as stims or painkillers. Memento hint. Found in the car outside the farmhouse, this hints to the transition zone to Mystery Lake, which is the cave system that leads to Winding River first. DLC content. So let's go over a few things that might be relevant if you have the Tales from the Far Territories DLC. First of all, the Thomson family stew recipe. In the Frontier Comforts update for the Tales DLC, they added special recipes. The Thomson family stew recipe can be found inside the community center, often cleverly hidden in the kitchen, though sometimes also in this little office. Spelunker's Lantern. There is one possible location to find the Spelunker's Lantern in Pleasant Valley. This is a variant on the standard lantern that uses less fuel and therefore lasts longer, but it provides a bit less light. A touch further on from the rope climb that leads to Timberwolf Mountain, there is a cave in the Misty Falls picnic area which may contain the lantern. The Beta Bunker. Pleasant Valley is home to the Beta Bunker, which is one of the bunkers relating to the Tales DLC. The first mission tale, Signal Void, asks you to fix up certain transmission towers in order to be able to then track the signal with the signal radio to uncover the special bunkers. The relevant transmission tower to fix up to uncover the Beta Bunker is in Pleasant Valley at Signal Hill. Once this has been fixed up, which needs 2 wires, 3 fuses, 5 scrap metal, and a battery, you can uncover the Beta Bunker in an Aurora, which is located here. Please be warned, it is right in the middle of a bear roaming area, so finding this bunker in Aurora is risky, but it is the only way. I won't go into much detail about the Beta Bunker. I do have a video specifically about this bunker. If you need more info on that, this is just gonna show my little route getting there, starting from the road under Signal Hill. And like I said, just watch out for the bear. And yeah, there's some good goodies in the bunker, like food and stuff. So yeah, it's always nice if you're doing the tail to check it out. The Cougar. With the DLC, the Cougar does spawn in Pleasant Valley. The first territory the Cougar will roam is the area around Pensive Pond. If you kill this one, it will expand into an area on the inner side of the frozen river, not too far from the farmhouse, towards Three Strikes Farmstead. The final territory is right next to Thomson's Crossing, which of course is not ideal. Trader's Radio. There is a trader's radio available in Pleasant Valley. It is located inside the community hall kitchen at Thomson's Crossing. Routes of exploration. Here are a few routes for exploring Pleasant Valley. Of course, these are only suggestions and based on how I might go about it, so don't feel like you have to follow these routes. Number 1. Entering from Mystery Lake. If I was entering from Mystery Lake, I would most likely head up towards Signal Hill first of all, then make my way down to the small barn and to the farmhouse. Number 2. Entering from Coastal Highway. If I came in from Coastal Highway, I most likely would head down to Thomson's Crossing as it's close by, then head onto the barn at the outbuildings and then onwards to the farmhouse. I've shown 2 route options as the road may be slightly safer to navigate and spot threats from instead of the open valley, especially if the weather's looking bad. Number 3. Using the farmhouse as a base of operations. I often also choose to get to the farmhouse and do smaller trips from there, especially since I'm often getting encumbered quickly. It's handy to do this. For example, you could head up to the Prepper Cache. If it is abandoned, maybe check out the plane crash site, the Burn Ridge Cave and Skeeter's Ridge. Or if you head out to Three Strikes Farmstead, there's often some good loot over there. Number 4. Following the road. Another option is to use the main road as your landmark to guide you along and gradually explore the region, adding of course some little detours along the way to go to the various points of interest. But you can use the road as your main guide. So I hope I've covered all the information you might need to help you get familiar with Pleasant Valley, and I hope you find it useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.